Hi Virgo, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So this will be a love and spirituality reading for the sign Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I will also be doing an extended video that I will leave in the description box down below. So let's see what's going on with you, Virgo. Seven of Pentacles. So some of you are working hard on something at the moment. Of course, when is a Virgo never, or when is a Virgo not working hard? Looks like some of you are, I'm getting the energy of you have your head down and you are working. You have your eye on a specific outcome, or you have your eye on some type of goal or some type of prize, and it looks like you are really focused on that or trying to focus on that. So that is good. Let's see. 3 for the past position for Virgo. Justice card. Okay. It's so odd trying to film behind the camera. I have to like reach my arms, reach my arm around it. It's so awkward. The Justice card is in reverse. The Two of Swords. King of Cups. Okay. So with the Justice card coming up along with the King of Cups in reverse, the Justice card to me is giving me the energy of something being unfair to you. Either you doing something unfair to someone or someone doing something unfair to you. It's hard to tell because the energy can be kind of reversed. But I feel like the energy of something was done that it just wasn't done with integrity, meaning that someone could have acted one way to someone's face and then behind their backs they could have acted a whole different way. And with the King of Cups, the King of Cups energy coming up, the King of Cups is usually, I read it as a selfish energy when it's in the reverse. Someone who kind of wants to have their cake and eat it too. Someone who is kind of, I want to say greedy. It could have to do with relationships, meaning that they're greedy when it comes to, you know, having multiple partners, like they're never satisfied with just one thing. Or it could also be that they are just stingy or selfish with just their energy in general. Like they really don't want to give you that much of their time, they really don't want to give you that much of their energy, but they expect you to give it to them though. So it could be like the energy's reversed, so you know, take it as it resonates. The Two of Swords is also here, so I feel like the Two of Swords is talking about being kind of at a crossroads with this person. Like you're either going to go right or you're either going to go left. It's like at that crucial point, or that like breaking point in every relationship where things are probably not going well, and there's some things that have been done that kind of make you question who that other person is. And it's kind of like at this point you're either going to stay or you're going to go. It's like you're at a crossroads right now. I feel like that Justice card is also talking about Libra season coming to a close. So I feel like with the closing of Libra season, a lot of people are going to be getting some type of clarity or closure about a situation from the past that they possibly were confused about, or they were left in the dark about. And with the with the Venus retrograde being in Scorpio, I feel as though this could also talk about finding out things about the past or from the past that you may not have known before. So a lot of things like coming to the surface, or a lot of things that were kept in the dark coming to the light. But don't let that scare you. Like I'm not trying to implant fear in anyone, like, oh, you're going to get some terrible news, because there's a good chance that you're not. But that's just the energy that I'm picking up for some of you. So let's see what the present here. I feel like a lot of you, this King of Cups energy could be you too, because like I said, I did get the energy of Eight of Cups came out. I did get the energy of some of you just being very focused or working very hard on something to the point where you feel like you don't have time or you don't have energy to give to someone. And because of this, the person that you were dealing with could feel slighted or feel like it's not fair to them. But I feel like it's not necessarily coming from a malicious place. Some of you could just be really focused on something specific, and it's difficult for you to share your energy with people or with a certain person when you are so focused on something that's important to you. But it could be coming across wrong to the other person. They could be taking it as, you know, you being selfish or you not caring about them. Or it could be vice versa. This other person could be focused on something or have some type of goal or something that they're working on in their own lives that makes you feel like, okay, you're not giving me the attention that I want, or the attention that I need, or the attention that I deserve, and it's making you feel like it's like unfair is what I'm feeling like it's unfair. For some of you also, that Justice card talks about karma. So if someone did you wrong in the past, it's very possible that they are now reaping what they have sown. You could be aware of this, or maybe you're not aware of this, but I feel like you could be getting made aware of this very soon. Like that person could be, wow, this is like an oddly specific message, but that person could be coming back to you and kind of expressing remorse about what they've done in the past, because they have encountered some type of karma. And the Eight of Cups is talking about not walking away from a situation, and that came out from the deck when I was shuffling. So I take this as someone possibly coming back, or someone that you've been on and off with, like an on and off type of energy, possibly coming back as well. So, and that's not to feed anyone false hope. If you're hoping that someone's going to come back, I'm not saying they're absolutely going to come back and confess their wrongs to you and tell you they're sorry, because that's unrealistic. This is a general reading, so I read for way too many energies to give somebody a specific message like that. But it's very possible with the energies that are coming up. So just take it as it resonates. I feel like a lot of regret from that Eight of Cups card too. So somebody could really be regretting the fact that they did someone wrong in the past. Really thinking back on why they did the things that they did, which is also a very big theme during the Venus retrograde. Like, wow, why did I do that? Why did I sabotage the connection? Why didn't I just put my energy and effort into it? Like, why did I have to act the way I acted? So it's like a lot of reflection either on your end or the person that you were dealing with. And this could go for friends, career. It doesn't have to just be romantic. So let's pull 3 for the present. Judgment card. Oh boy. Six of Cups. The Lovers. Wow. Okay, so the Lovers card is the card that talks about a very strong bond between two people, a very strong tie between the two, and usually they are tied that way to each other because there is a lesson that needs to be learned from each other, and you can't necessarily learn a lesson from someone who you don't care about. Let me fix the camera. If you think about anybody that you've had some type of fling with or some type of connection with where it was a very fly-by-night connection and it didn't matter to you, more than likely you didn't learn much from that person. It was just an experience that you went through, and it may have filled some time or filled a void for a minute, but then it was over. But the people who you feel a very deep emotional connection to are the people who you are going to learn the most from, because they trigger you and they are able to stir up emotions in you that really reveal yourself to you, if that makes sense. It's like they reveal the parts of yourself that you try to ignore to you. So the people who you have this lover's energy with are the people who are going to be your mirror images, and who are going to show you things about yourself that you'd probably rather not see, but you need to see in order for you to heal. So I'm feeling like whoever this person was, they are someone who is the complete opposite of you. Like, you could have a lot in common with them, but you're very different at the same time, to the point where you clash, especially with that King of Cups being there in the reverse. I feel like it could be the energy of one person is more selfish than the other, one person is selfless, one person is selfish, one person is sensitive, one person is more closed off. It's like those type of energies that usually take place within soulmate connections, or within connections where both people are meant to grow and learn. That's why in this card it's like the white wolf and then the black one, because it's showing like yin and yang, and also showing your light and your shadow as well. So bringing out the best in each other, but also bringing out the worst in each other at the same time. And that is a very difficult connection to have. I know firsthand it is very difficult to have, because like I said, you see the best in yourself, so you don't want to get rid of the person, or you don't want to leave the person because you feel like they have the ability to bring out the best in you, but at the same time you do feel like you have to walk away because they also can bring out the worst in you, or you can bring out the worst in each other. So it can be a very difficult type of situation, especially when you're seeing the potential in someone, because the King of Cups, I also see that as someone who you could sort of see as having potential. Like if you're dealing with a man, you could see them as husband material. If you see them if you're dealing with a woman, you could see them as wife material. Sorry, let me slow down. So it's like you see the potential in them, and you see what they have the ability to manifest with you in a relationship, but for some reason they're just not doing it. So that can be very, very difficult and very hurtful. So the Six of Cups is also here. The Six of Cups talks about past life connections. So there's a very good chance you had a past life connection with this person, especially with the Lover's card being right next to it. It's like this very soul bond that kind of expands across lifetimes. And if you don't believe in past lives, this could just be someone who you have a very strong soul bond with because they remind you of someone from the past, or they remind you of your parents. You know, that whole thing of, you know, we tend to go for people who act like our parents because we are trying to heal something within us, some type of wound that our parents left in us. We can only heal it, or we can heal it more quickly when we date someone who's just like them and they bring up that wound to the surface. So it's one of those two things. And I also feel like for a lot of you, this could have been a childhood sweetheart, like someone that you knew from childhood that you grew up with. So that's why your bond could be so strong. But overall, I feel like there's an energy of wanting to reconnect and wanting to reconcile with them really badly. Missing them really badly, or them missing you really badly. I just feel like two people who are, it's like I feel like both people in the connection, with the Two of Swords being there, with the Six of Cups under it, it's like both people are thinkers. Like they sit and think about things a lot and they don't really take action, or they don't communicate. So it's like both people could be thinking about each other at the same time, and neither will ever know because they won't say it, or they won't speak up. For a lot of you, if you are still in communication with this person, like I said, you're more so at a crossroads, and what's keeping you, you know, being at that crossroads of whether to go right or left is you constantly thinking about the past, or thinking about the things that you've been through together, and thinking about the good times, and that's kind of keeping you holding on. And that's why you could be kind of confused or at a crossroads, because it's like on one hand, you know, that things could possibly not be going as best as they could be going, but you know, it's like you're holding on to how good things have gone in the past. And that's why I feel the Eight of Cups is coming up, because it's like I said, this energy of not wanting to walk away from something because you put a lot of effort into it, or you put a lot of time into it, or you invested a lot of hope or faith into it, and so it being kind of difficult to walk away. And this could be you or the other person. Just take it as it resonates. Intuitively, you'll know who's who when I'm delivering the messages. So the Judgment card being here in reverse, I feel like the Judgment card right underneath the Justice card. Wow, interesting pairing. The Judgment card usually talks about someone who probably made a very poor decision in the past, or made a poor decision in the past and was kind of unfair to someone based on their decision. So someone who made a selfish decision and who, you know, chose to feed their own desires and not care how it's going to affect the other person. And now, you know, when you do that, you have to face judgment eventually. The chickens always come home to roost. You have to face the things that you choose to do, and you have to live with the consequences. So I feel like in the reverse, whoever made a poor decision, or whoever was unfair to the other, I feel like they could have experienced some type of karma, or they are becoming aware of, you know, how wrong they were for the things that they have done, and they're really thinking about it, and really, I feel like it's weighing on them heavily. It's weighing on their mind. So if you are disconnected from someone, or you are separated from them, and you keep thinking about them, there could be a good chance that they're thinking about you, or they are they're constantly going back and forth in their head about what they've done to you. And so when someone is thinking about you and pushing that sort of energy towards you, you can pick up on their thoughts and start thinking about them. And again, I don't want to feed anybody's I don't want to give anybody false hope, because like I always say with my readings, I don't do cross-watching and the whole, you know, soulmate spreads and stuff like that, because I feel like sometimes it can kind of feed codependent energy, and sometimes it can give people false hope and make them hold on to things that they were supposed to let go of. But this is just the message that I'm getting, so please use your discernment. Use your discernment. If you feel like you have a codependent tie to someone, and you know they're no good for you, and you know that they don't need to be in your life because of the way they treated you, it's best to actually not watch these type of readings, especially if you're cross-watching for another sign, because sometimes, like I said, that can very much feed codependent energy and keep you stuck. So please use your discernment when it comes to that. But the message that I'm getting is just a lot of reflecting on the past and really wanting to reconcile, or really thinking about things that have taken place, and I'm getting like a strong energy of regret. But be very mindful of going backwards, because just because, you know, there's a lot of regret, or there's a lot of love still there, or there's connection still there, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're meant to be with this person. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be friends, family, career. So take it as it resonates. But it doesn't always mean just because there's regret, or there's like a strong pull, that means that you need to be with them. That just means that you have a strong emotional tie to them. In the same way that you attach to someone, you can also detach from them with time. And a lot of people have a hard time detaching because they are very much holding on to the past and they don't have anything to look forward to. So if you have nothing to look forward to, you will inevitably keep going back to the past. So I feel like the best thing for you to do would be to take the lessons that you took from this connection, apply them to your life, and set a goal of how to move forward, of how to pull yourself out of that energy. You can still hold on to the positive thoughts and the happy memories and stuff like that, but it's best to not let it suck you back in, and it's best to not let it keep you stuck. For some of you who are still in communication with this person, I just feel like it's saying you need to use your judgment, use your higher judgment in the situation. If you're at a crossroads and not knowing whether to stay or go, I feel like you intuitively know the answer. You know what's right for you. But you have to make the decision of what's right for you in the long term and not just what's right for you for right now. So let's pull for the future outcome. Oh, let me read the Six of Cups card first. I've been reading the center cards for each sign. So let's read the Six of Cups. Okay, it says Six of Cups. This could also be the Scorpio card I'm seeing, so some of you could have been dealing with the Scorpio or someone with Scorpio in their chart. So it says, keywords, sensuality, opening up, and enjoyment of pleasure. The upright meaning says, the hawk represents freedom and swiftness, surrender to the elements. With this card, we are beckoned towards sexual fulfillment through emotional vulnerability. When we love and trust our partner, we can reach new levels of emotional renewal that we cannot find through other means. There's a wealth and joy in letting go and allowing the rhythms of love to take the lead. Repeat the mantra, I embrace my sexual instincts. Okay, so I feel like that message is specifically for those of you who are actually in a relationship. Like, not in a relationship necessarily, but who you're in a connection with someone. Because, like I said, I'm picking up for two groups, people who have already let go and some people who are still in communication with that person. So I feel like that center card was talking about communication with that person. And if you're at a crossroads, it could be saying that if you don't feel safe with the person, you feel like you can't let go and be your full self and be vulnerable and open with them, then that could be your answer of whether or not it's time for you to go. And I know that the book was talking about like sexual openness and intimacy in that way, but intimacy doesn't always have to do with sex. It can just have to do with your ability to be open and vulnerable with the person that you're with. And if you feel like that's lacking, then it may be time to reevaluate your connection. Because it's hard to get your emotional needs met when you're not vulnerable, you're not open, and there's a lot of fear in your connection, and there's a lot of like stagnant, closed off energy. So let's pull 3 for the future, and we'll look at those in the extended. 7 of Pentacles came up again. So like I said, some of you or that other person really has their eye on working on something, or they did. Now it's in the reverse, so we'll see what that's about in the extended. 3 of Pentacles is also here. Sorry, it's back. 3 of Pentacles is also here. The 3 of Pentacles talks about a lack of cooperation, possibly a lack of communication as well, is what I'm getting. Oh God, this camera wants to act up at the end of the reading. So we will look at that in the extended. And the 4 of Cups talks about an inability to let go of the past. So that seems to be a theme for this reading. So we will look at what that energy is about in the extended. So I hope that this was helpful. I will leave the link to the extended down below, and I will see you guys over on Vimeo.